Oh shit, I went to explain a little bit already. So yeah, I'll go over quickly a little bit of each platform. You can keep filming, Maria. Yeah, that's gonna be a big ass online course with that. Don't worry, I'll send you all the slides of this as well after. So TikTok and Instagram, your discovery and conversion powerhouse. So I'm gonna go over like quickly all of this. So TikTok, rapid growth engine, right? So if you wanna build your following without like putting a lot of money on paid ads, TikTok is the thing for that, right? And what's beautiful with TikTok is if you do proper research, it's not stuff that is very hard, right? Usually you're gonna notice as well, high quality, it's funny to say that, but high quality content on TikTok doesn't perform as well, right? So if you hire a professional video team for your TikTok content, you failed already, right? If all of your content on TikTok should be filmed with your phone. It shouldn't be shot professionally. It's kind of a waste of money, right? And yeah, it's just like TikTok is good for viral content or relatable content, right? So that's good for that. Instagram, this is your business hub, right? So it can be basically your business card. It's your portfolio. It's also good to get discovered as well. It's literally good for everything. And also, because you can post picture, carousel, reels, and you have DMs, you have a highlight too. It is one leverage. Like most of my business actually comes from Instagram. I would say like 70% of my leads come from Instagram. So when leveraged properly, Instagram is insanely powerful. So yeah, you have like all the infos there. YouTube, authority platform, right? So when you actually post high quality. YouTube is, like I said, you need to invest the most amount of money and time and effort in there, but you should see it as a 2 or 3 years investment. Like me personally, just to give you some number, I'm planning to put in probably around in the ballpark of 30K into my YouTube channel, right? Over the course of 3 years, right? Because I know once my YouTube channel really starts to scale, it's gonna be insane, basically. And like I said, like my goal is just to get on average to 1,000 views per video because the conversion rate is just insane with YouTube. Facebook, very good for 35 plus, but I would say 40 plus demographic. Very good for your local audience. And LinkedIn, professional growth, doing collaboration with big corporations, sponsorship, all those event stuff. Got it? All right. Next part. So the social media funnel strategy, right? So that's the thing that I would say 95% of like businesses online are missing out, right? It's actually a content strategy, right? Most people I see, they're just posting with no intention and no strategy. And it's kind of like, I feel like they're like a kid with Play-Doh, right? They're just throwing Play-Doh at the wall and hoping that some Play-Doh will stick, right? And they're like, oh, they'll shape it different way and throw it at the wall and 90% of it doesn't stick, right? So this is a basic strategy, right? That every business uses. And once I explain this to you guys, you will basically understand everything that I post, right? So you have top of the funnel content, which is discovery, right? This is TikTok and Instagram Reels, and recently YouTube Shorts as well are good with that, right? So basically, the best way I could describe it is to get as many eyeballs as possible into your content, right? Your goal shouldn't be to convert and to make clients with that type of content. This type of content is to attract as many eyeballs as possible. And there's 2 metrics that matters a lot with this type of content is time under watch, right? So let's say your video is 30 seconds long, like you should aim for an average watch time of 15 seconds, right? And then the other metric that matters the most is shares, right? Because your goal is to get viewed as much as possible. So you should make content top of the funnel within the mind that like I want to share that to my friend, right? So you can just ask the question yourself, if I were someone that just found out about this video, like would I share this to my friend, right? So a good way to leverage this top of the funnel stuff is memes, right? Because everybody loves memes, right? Everybody loves to laugh, right? So when it's something stupid and viral, like a meme, that's a very good way to generate a ton of views into your content so that maybe later down the line, they're gonna go in the middle of the funnel, right? So middle of the funnel, that's when you turn your views into followers, right? So, and I call it trust building and authority building, right? So in the middle part of your funnel, you should be, so people are gonna come at the top, right? So it's like literally like a funnel, right? So people come at the top, they get entertained, they get educated, they get some value, whatever, and then they reach the middle of your funnel. So the middle of the funnel is like you're transforming viewers into followers, right? So your goal there is either through Instagram story, YouTube videos, educational carousel, educational reels, is to see you, like your goal is they need to see you as the solution of all of their problems, right? And I would add as well, I haven't added that, but they need to see you, like to trust you as well. Especially in our field, when you think about it, massage is like a super intimate profession, right? People, they might have just met you and then they undress almost naked and they're like, oh, I leave you with my body, I just trust you, don't mess me up, right? So this is like, if people don't trust you, if they don't know you, it's gonna like, if we make the comparison with the middle of the funnel, you have a massage therapist who has only one picture of them on their Instagram, and you have a massage therapist that have like 30 plus pictures, video of them that tell them what they love, what food they like, whatever. Who you're gonna trust more, right? Or even if we just make the comparison, of like a restaurant, right? Not even with social media, with Google My Business, right? Who do you trust when you're looking at a restaurant? Like the restaurant that don't have a website, don't have their menu online, but like they just showcase that they're there, or the restaurant with picture of their menu, pictures of like their website, and with like good Google reviews, right? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
I was always taught to distance yourself from the client, to not give too much of yourself, too much information of your life, your social life.
Yeah, there's a whole strategy to it. You always share with what you're comfortable to share, but like even if you stay within like professional limits, right? What is your favorite massage technique? What is your favorite injury to treat? Why you got into massage, right? So like it's always depends on how much you're willing to share. But even if you share the strict minimum about like how long you've been massaging, right? Where is your massage practice located? What is your favorite sheets? What is your favorite oil? What is your favorite modality use, right? So that stays within the professional scope of practice, but already your client knows more about you than the competition. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Any more questions with that? So middle of the funnel, I'll expand on that once I get to the strategy part, but yeah, it's to basically have your client trust you, and also like for us, authority building, And what I mean by authority building is not like, yes, I am the dictator. No, authority building is showcase that you actually know your truck, right? You actually know your truck, you know what I'm saying? So when I say that is like, when people, let's say they have sciatica issues, and you don't have video that talk about sciatica issues, they're like, oh, but is that person like has the skill to treat my sciatica issue? They don't know, because like you don't have content about this. But if you have content like, oh, so let's say you make a story about like, oh, I had a client that has sciatica issue, I stretched her out, I did an assessment and stuff, and the client's scrolling on your page and he or she has sciatica issues, and they find this video, what do you think is gonna happen? Right? They're gonna trust you, and they're like, okay, I need to book an appointment with this guy or with this girl, because you showcase that you were the solution of their issues, right? So, and then you have bottom of the funnel content, and that's the stuff most business have no issues with. Bottom of the funnel content is when you sell, right? But it's also a way of doing things that doesn't feel salesy, right? So what I mean by doesn't feel salesy is the post that's like, oh, 60-minute appointment for $95 plus tax, 90 minutes appointment for, I don't know, like $200 plus tax, whatever. This is very salesy. And people already on social media are bombarded with ads, bad ads on top of that. And if you post organically this type of content and you've seen it yourself, that performs horribly, right? Because people are just tired of it, I'm tired of it, So even you yourself, when you're scrolling and you get an ad, that's like badly with no strategy, you automatically like, nope, you don't have a fire truck, right? So yeah, like this is usually the type of content everyone is good at because like it's easy and that's the old type of marketing, But that doesn't work anymore. That's like even conversion content, you need to have a strategy, right? You need to have, especially people that only have bottom of the funnel and they're missing this stuff and they're only doing this, So people can't, like it's like a funnel, right? Like if you only have the bottom of the funnel, people they can't come in, they just bounce, right? Off your stuff. And then later down the line, retention and expansion. So I didn't really talk about this, but like email marketing is extremely powerful as well because at the end of the day, like social platforms, those like your followers are not technically yours. They're the platform's property, right? So later down the line, when you have info products, you can collect emails. And emails, what is powerful is they'll be yours forever, right? And emails is also, I didn't mention that, is like an underrated form of marketing because with proper email campaign and with volume, you can convert an insane amount of clients with email marketing. And then scaling an authority, that's for later with YouTube and like LinkedIn and like all that stuff, which I spoke earlier. Any questions? Awesome. So understanding the 5 platform ecosystem. So now this might look scary, guys, because you're like, oh man, there's like, I need to do 5 platforms. And to tell you the truth, you don't. You could very well have only 1 platform and that's gonna be good enough. My own strength, I would say, is Instagram and YouTube. Facebook is kind of dying, and in my opinion, it's kind of a cesspool, but it depends on what is your audience and what's your goal, right? Each platform has their own strength and their own conversion rate, right? So I'm gonna start with the youngest platform and the platform that's the easiest to go viral, the infamous TikTok. I personally hate TikTok, but the people that like, because I have a whole team working with me, they're like, yo, you should be on TikTok. And I'm like, ah. So the power of TikTok is it's very easy to go viral on TikTok, like insanely easy. Like your first post on TikTok could go viral. And the age of TikTok is like from 14, even though they shouldn't be on TikTok, but the average age is 14 to 25. That's like 70% of their audience is people that age. And TikTok is amazing as top of the funnel content and as a lead generator. You can generate a shit ton of leads with TikTok, but what's considered very well with the statistics, because I'm doing research on that, is the TikTok, a good conversion rate is 1% of your audience gonna convert into clients. And that's considered super, super good with TikTok. Usually it's like 0.5 or even like below that, right? But what's powerful with TikTok is you can relatively easily go viral and reach 1 million views on your content. So that's why even though like your conversion rate is 1%, like I said, 1% of 1 million is a lot of potential clients. And even 1% of 100K, that's possible, that's possibly 1,000 leads into your business. Okay, I need to take some water. And with that being said, TikTok, you should use it at the top when you want to bring people to your other platforms, right? Because it's very good at that. And also usually the lead quality of TikTok is lower because it just goes in the psychology of each platforms. Like TikTok, the attention span is like about 6 seconds, right? So attract a crowd that their attention span is 6 seconds. So with all that comes with it, right? The next one, my favorite, is Instagram. And most of you guys know me for, I would say, it is the best platform, in my opinion, because it's so versatile, right? You can get discovered, you can generate leads, you can convert, you can showcase your practice, you can inspire people. Instagram does a little bit of everything and it works at every business stage. And also for us massage therapists, the biggest chunk of our audience are on Instagram, right? People aged 25 to 40. I would say that's the biggest audience on Instagram. And also it's the conversion rate on Instagram is 3% to 5%, right? So with those statistics, it is way better. It's like literally on the lower end, it's like 3 times as big as TikTok. And usually the lead quality of Instagram are like pretty much better than TikTok, right? And then we have YouTube. YouTube, it is the most underestimated platform for businesses. Why? Because people go on YouTube and they see, oh my God, that's gonna take so much work to like build a good YouTube channel. And to those people, I would say, you're totally right. YouTube takes a shit ton of work, right? So much work to get your YouTube channel going, but YouTube, you shouldn't see it as a lead generating machine. YouTube is your nurturing platform. YouTube is your conversion platform, right? And YouTube is an investment of 2 to 3 years. Then it's gonna start to scale, and if you're consistent with your work, because with YouTube, it's long-term maturity. And also, if you guys don't know, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, with the biggest one being Google. And who owns YouTube? Google, right? So what's really powerful with YouTube is like when your videos are SEO optimized, SEO is search engine optimized, is like if for whatever reason, I don't know, I'm just saying stuff like that, lymphatic drainage like starts to be trending on Google search, right? Then your video that's talk a lot about lymphatic drainage, even though it's 2 years old, suddenly out of nowhere could go viral, right? So that's powerful with YouTube. Unlike all the more like short form content with Instagram and TikTok, YouTube, your content can go viral overnight for whatever reason, because a word just became like trending. And also it's extremely powerful because not only like your content will still generate views after 2 or 3 days, right? With Instagram and TikTok, after 2 or 3 days, it's gone. The algorithm doesn't push your content anymore, unless if there's some miracle, it became something trending. But like YouTube will, if your video and your content is SEO optimized, it will keep pushing your content forever, right? So that's very powerful. And also, YouTube is an amazing nurturing platform. So when people find your YouTube channel and they start consuming it, and if you have like good content on YouTube, because especially like YouTube, your videos last longer. The average length of a good nurturing video on YouTube is around 5 minutes, right? So now you attract leads that their attention span is on average 5 minutes, right? And later down the line, when you have YouTube content that's 1 hour long, like podcasts, right? So I don't know if you guys watch some podcasts and stuff, but like usually, you know, let's say you have a YouTube channel about business, right? And you have a 1 hour long business podcast, right? And you have like, and you can see it in the statistic, usually for like these kind of stuff, like 8% of the audience gonna watch the whole 1 hour podcast. But the 8% that watch the 1 hour long business podcast, how do you think those leads quality are, right? Much high quality. Like the 8% that watch an hour long video podcast about business, they're gonna be super high quality leads that are gonna really convert, and they're gonna be higher ticket clients as well, right? Because you're attracting someone that their attention span isn't 1 hour long. So that's why it's extremely powerful, and YouTube has the highest conversion rate out of every platform, right? It can go all the way to 10% of your audience. And that's extremely powerful, because let's say your video, YouTube only has 100 views, right? And your conversion mechanism is really good, 10% of 100 views. That means you have 10 potential clients in there. So let's say if it's for massage, right? Your video has 100 views, let's say you charge $100 for 1 hour of massage, you just made 1K off a video that has 100 views, right? So that's another thing too, like quality over quantity, you know? There's no point of having like a YouTube video that goes viral or has 1 million views if it doesn't attract your right audience, right? So like I have a YouTube channel, you're more than welcome to like and subscribe. But the video that generated me the most money on YouTube has 256 views, right? For people that don't know about social media strategies, they're like, 250 views, this guy sucks, right? But you know how much I generated with that video? I think close to 8K USD with 256 views, right? So imagine once my channel is gonna scale to 1K average of view, right? 10% conversion rate of 1K, so 100 potential clients. So you see all the potential with YouTube. You don't need to have 100,000 views with 10,000 subscribers on your channel if you had the right monetization strategy with that. Now, Facebook, despite what I said about Facebook is still very useful, but for a different reason. Facebook is very good if you want to have a local business, right? I think Jessica said it, she uses mainly Facebook for her marketing. It is extremely works very well, especially for an audience of 40 plus. 40 plus people are mainly on Facebook. So if your niche and your audience are 40 plus people, leveraging Facebook is extremely powerful, especially most people have no idea how to leverage Facebook. So like if you just have like a small understanding of Facebook on how to leverage Facebook, you would make a killing there because most people have no idea what the truck they're doing on Facebook. And Facebook has a pretty high conversion rate as well. It's like between 3 to 5%, just like Instagram. Especially on a higher trust, and especially the more local your ads are on Facebook and the more like local groups that you're participating with Facebook, the higher your conversion rate will be. Especially like, you know, with the older demographic advertising on Facebook that have no idea what they're doing. If you have some sort of idea, you will come and take name and kick ass and chew bubblegum with Facebook, right? And the last one, LinkedIn. LinkedIn for our profession, it's less B2B, less B2C, right? You will get less B2C clients. For those that don't know, B2C is business to clients. But LinkedIn is extremely powerful for B2B, so business to business, right? So if you have a business that works with corporate clients, right? If you do office massage, if you do are looking for collaboration or corporate sponsorship for your events or whatever, LinkedIn is still extremely powerful for B2B, right? So if you want to link with business owner. So I'll give an example. I help one of my clients. He is a mobile massage therapist, but focus on treating people in office at their office. His main lead generation is LinkedIn, right? So now LinkedIn is also very underestimated because it's not the cool platform. You know, it's the platform for like, you know, people that work in tech, people that work in office, HR, admin. But if you guys are like Canadian and stuff, you know, like all those white collar jobs, they have good insurance, you know. So if you're not on LinkedIn and they're your main niche, you need to be on LinkedIn and you need to have a strategy for LinkedIn. However, today I don't have time to delve into LinkedIn, and I'm gonna be honest, it's not my strong point as well. But it's just to let you know that every platform, as you can see, has their own strengths and weaknesses. And because of that, with the right ecosystem, like if you're really like a lean, mean war machine like me, you have to be on all 5, right? But if this is overwhelming, you could just focus on one with the right strategy. With the one, Instagram, I would say I would personally prioritize. That's the one that's gonna give you the most immediate results, especially for our audience. Any questions? So the mindset shift from posting to building a brand ecosystem, right? The old way, and I would say that was me, you know, 4 years ago, until I started figuring out things, you know, and raise your hand if it's you, like posting occasionally when you remember, share some generic wellness quote on a picture, hope someone books, you know, no strategy, no consistency, give up after 3 months because they're like, you know, like, oh, social media doesn't work, you know, it's like, it's a waste of time, right? This approach treats social media like an afterthought, right? Like a chore that produces no results and you're just shouting in the dark, abysmal void, right? That's most businesses are doing nowadays, right? The new way, strategy brand building, right? So this approach, you know, it's a core of your business assets, right? Instead of treating it as an afterthought, you're actually building your whole business around social media and not social media around your business, right? And the thing is like, you don't have to do it, but if you don't do it, you'll be left in the dust by the people that are doing it. And they'll just have such an unfair advantage that like you're just gonna be trucked, you know, you're just gonna be trucked because like I said, I'm not saying you can't have success without social media, but with proper leverage, success is literally inevitable with social media nowadays. And also like you're competing with people that actually will have a strategy, and you'll be really left in the dust. They eat the whole pie and you'll be stuck with crumbs. And like the people that are not leveraging social media, you will be fighting for the crumbs instead of the people who has the whole pie, right? And you know, the new way of building is like post consistently with a content calendar. So the reason like it doesn't feel like a chore for me is because I have a plan, right? So I make the analogy a lot, right? So if you're on a ship captain, right, and you're trying to get somewhere, but you only have point A, you don't have point B, right? So even you have the best ship in the world, you're never gonna get anywhere because like you don't know what's your point B. You're always going to circle in the ocean, right? So you have to know what is your point B, point C, point D, so on and so on, right? So having a plan, you know when things advance, right? And create like valuable content that solves like specific problem. Use analytics. Most people, they see the analytics tools and they just see random numbers. But like each part of the funnel has a metric, like I said, that matters. And from that metric, you know what to correct your shot and know what to do next, right? And also, you know, multi-platform presence that compounds over time. And like I said, like I'll just show you later a couple of screenshots of my Instagram and YouTube. Right now, my scaling, it's not like this. It's going like this. And it's gonna be a 90-degree curve. Like things are gonna scale like crazy. Like I'll just give you another example. If you guys know Sebastian Vala on Instagram, he has 1.2 million followers on his Instagram, right? And he sells an online course about massage, right? Who he prices at $200. So let's be super conservative, and let's say he only managed to convert 0.1% of his following at 1.2 million followers, right? Guess how much money he's making, right? So, and that's 0.01%. For sure, his conversion rate is higher than that. So you see the economic potential, and like I said, he said himself, he used to post 3 times a day, right? And once he started to figure out content and stuff, and once things start scaling, that it's like you can hire a team, kind of like what I'm doing right now. I was posting twice a day. I was doing all the editing myself, all the scripting myself. And now when things are scaling and you have an online income that you can generate, I have 3 video editors that are working for me, 2 videographer, and I have a content guy that just takes care of scripting my content. And I also have someone that I hired recently just to manage my DMs. So that's when things start to scale and stuff. And I'm about to hire another person to handle my DMs. Yes. Yes, that's my next step. Yeah, that's my next step. Just sending all the invoices and stuff just takes so much time, and sending like a bunch of tasks like that are low leverage for me, like I end up doing, I could just pay someone to do it for me, and I can just focus on on a higher leverage activity. But anyway, that's later down the line. Now we finished the intro, you know, it's never too late to start, right? It's only too late to start when you give up, right? So don't give up. And like I said, like for me to really figure out this, it took me 5 years. And just with what you're gonna learn in this course, you're gonna scale way faster. And that's only about what I'm teaching you guys. It's not that I don't want to give you more, it's only 5% of what I know that I'm teaching you guys today. So yeah, got it? Awesome.